Palestinian Targum. We're now reading the book of Deuteronomy. So Deuteronomy chapter 1, Torah portion reading Debarim. So Deuteronomy 1 verse 1. These are the words of admonition which Moshe spake with all Israel. He gathered them together to him while they were beyond the Jordan, and answered and said to them, Was it not in the wilderness at the mountain of Sinai that the law was given to you? And in the plains of Moab you were made to understand how many miracles and signs the Holy One, blessed be He, has wrought for you, from the time that you passed over the border of the weedy sea, where He made for you a way for every one of your tribes. But you declined from His word, and wrought provocation before Him in Paran on account of the words of the spies, and put together lying words against Him, and murmured about the manna which He had made to come down for you, white from the heavens. In Hazeroth you demanded flesh, and made yourselves deserving to perish from the midst of the world, but for the memory on your behalf of the merit of your righteous fathers, the tabernacle of ordinance, and the ark of the covenant, and the holy vessels which you had covered with pure gold, and made atonement for you on account of the sin of the golden calf. It is a journey of 11 days only from Horeb by the way of Mount Gelab unto Rechem-giah. But because you declined and provoked the Lord to displeasure, you have been retarded 40 years. And it was at the end of 40 years, in the 11th month, the month of Shabbat, on the first of the month, that Moshe spake with the sons of Israel, according to all that the Lord had given him commandment for them. Now the Jerusalem text reads, These are the words of Moshe spake with all Israel, reproving them, while as yet they were situate beyond the Jordan. Moshe answered, said to them, Was it not in the wilderness of Mount Sinai that the law was given to you? And on the plains of Moab was shown you what miracles and mighty acts the word of the Lord had wrought on your behalf. When you stood by the weedy sea, the sea was divided before you, and there were made 12 ways of one way, a path for each tribe. Yet you provoked him at the sea, and rebelled at the sea of Suph, on account of the matter of the spies who had been sent from the wilderness of Pharaoh. The decree came forth against you, that you should not enter into the land of Israel, and for that of the manna of which you said, Our soul is afflicted with this bread, whose eating is too light. The serpents were let loose among you, and in Hazeroth, where your carcasses fell on account of the flesh, and concerning the calf that you had made, he would have spoken in his word to destroy you, had he not been mindful of the covenant which he swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and of the tabernacle of ordinance which you had made unto his name, and the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and of your burnt sacrifices in the midst of the tabernacle, and the ark, which you covered with purified gold. A journey of 11 days it is from Mount Horeb by way of Mount Gelab unto Rechem-giah. Yet, because you sinned and provoked anger before him, you have been delayed, and have been journeying for 40 years, and it was at the end of the 40 years. That's the end of the Jerusalem text. After he had smitten Sihon, king of the Amorites, who dwelt in Heshbon, and Og, the king of Mithan, who dwelt at Estavata in Erehath, beyond Jordan, in the land of Moab. Began Moshe to speak the words of this law, saying, The Lord our God spake with us, and not I of my own mind, in Horeb, saying, It is enough for you, and hath been profitable for you until this time, during which you have received the law, and have made the tabernacle and its vessels, and appointed your princes over you. But now it would be evil for you to tarry longer at this mount. Turn you, and journey to Arad and Hormah, and go up to the mountains of the Amorites, and to the dwelling places of Ammon, Moab, and Gibala, and in the plains of the forest, in mountain and valley, and by the south of the shore of the sea, Ashkelon and Kerosene, the land of the Canaanite, unto Caladohi and Lebanon, the place of the mountain of the sanctuary, to the great river, the river Frat. See, I have given up the inhabitants of the land before you, nor it be needful to carry arms. Go in and possess the land, and appoint the allotters, and divide it, even as the Lord sware to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that he would give it unto them and their sons after them. And I spake with you at that time, saying, We will not leave you with but one judge, for I am not able to bear you alone. The word of the Lord our God hath multiplied you, and behold, you are today as the stars of heaven for multitude. The Lord God of our fathers increase you 1,000-fold on account of this my benediction, and bless you beyond numbering, as he hath said unto you. But how can I alone sustain the labour, your sensuality, your evil thoughts, your words of strife, your offering 1 shekel for 2? Present then from among you wise men, prudent in their thinking, men of wisdom, by your tribes, and I will appoint them to be chiefs over you. And you answered me and said, The thing that thou hast spoken, it is right for us to do. So I took the chiefs of your tribes, and moved them kindly with words, wise men, masters of knowledge, but prudent in their thoughts I found not. And I appointed them chiefs over you, rabbis of thousands, of hundreds, of 50s, 12,000 rabbans of 10s, 6 myriad officers of your tribes. And I charged your judges at that time with the orders of the judgments, saying, So hear your brethren, that one may not be permitted to speak all his words, while another is compelled to cut his words short. So hearken to their words, as that it may be impossible for you not to judge them, and deliver judgment in truth, and to resolve a matter completely between a man and his brother, and between him who hireth words of litigation. You shall not have respect to persons in a judgment. You shall hear little words, as well as great ones. Nor be afraid before the rich man and the ruler, for a judgment is from before the Lord, and he seeth every secret. But the thing that is too hard for you, bring to me, and I will hear it. And at that time I taught you all the 10 words which you are to practice about judgments of money and judgments of life. And we journeyed from Horeb and came through all that great and fearful desert, where you saw serpents like bows, and loathsome scorpions darting at you like arrows, on the way of the mountains of the Amorah, as the Lord our God had commanded us, and came to Rechem-Gear. And I said to you, Ye are come to the mountain of the Amorah, which the Lord our God will give to us. Behold, the Lord our God hath given you the land. Arise and possess it, as the Lord your God hath told you. Fear not, nor be dismayed or broken. And all of you came to me in one body and said, We will send men before us to examine the land for us, and bring us back word by what way we should go up to it, and the cities we should enter. And the thing was proper in my eyes, and I took from you 12 chosen men, 1 man for each tribe. And they turned and went up into the mountain, and came to the stream of Ethkelah, and explored it. Okay, the Jerusalem text says, And they prepared and went up to the mountain, and came to the stream of the grapes, and surveyed it. That's the end of the Jerusalem text. And they took in their hands of the produce of the land, and brought to us. And they returned us word. And Caleb and Joshua said, The land which the Lord our God hath given us is good. But you were not willing to go up, but believed the words of the 10 wicked ones, and rebelled against the word of the Lord your God. And you cried in your tents, taking your sons and your daughters to your breast, saying, Woe to you, ye stricken ones! Tomorrow ye will be slain. Why hath the Lord hated us, to have brought us out of the land of Mizraim, to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites to destroy us? How shall we go up? Our brethren have dissolved our hearts, saying, The people are greater and mightier than we. Their cities are vast and walled to the height of heaven. And we saw there also the sons of Ephron, the giant. And I said to you, Be not broken down, nor be afraid of them. The word of the Lord your God, who goeth before you, will himself fight for you, according to all that he did for you in Mizraim before your eyes. And in the desert, where thou sawest burning serpents full of deadly venom, the Lord thy God bear thee with the glorious cloud of his Shekinah, as a man carrieth his child, all the way that you went, until you have come to this place. But in this thing you believed not in the word of the Lord your God, who led before you in the way, to prepare for you the place of your encampments, and the pillar of fire by night, to light you in the way you should go, and in the pillar of the cloud by day. And the voice of your words was heard before the Lord, and he was displeased, and did make oath, saying, If any one of the men of this evil generation shall see the good land which I covenanted to give unto their fathers, except Caleb bar Yephaniah, who shall see it, and to whom I will give the good land, the land of Hebron, through which he walked, and to his children, because he hath followed with integrity the fear of the Lord. Against me also was their displeasure before the Lord on your account, saying, Thou too art not to go in hither. Joshua bar Nun, who ministereth in the house of instruction, he is to go in thither. Strengthen him, for he is to make Israel possess it. But your little ones, of whom you said, They will be prey, and your children, who as yet know not between good and evil, they shall go in thither. I will give it to them, and they shall possess it for an inheritance. As for you, turn and go back into the wilderness by the way of the weedy sea. Then answer you, and said to me, We have sinned before the Lord. We will go up to fight according to all that the Lord our God commanded us. And you girded on every man his arms and began to ascend the mountain. But the Lord said to me, Say to them, Go not up, nor prepare for battle, for my Shekinah goeth not among you, that you be not crushed before your enemies. And I spake with you, but you would not obey, but were rebellious against the word of the Lord, and did wickedly, and went up to the mountain. And the Amorah who dwelt in that mountain came out to meet you and pursued you, as they drive away and destroy hornets, and smote you from Gebal to Hormah. Jerusalem text. And they chased you as bees are chased, and slew you in Gebal unto destruction. And you returned and wept before the Lord, but the Lord would not receive your prayers, nor hearken to your words. So you abode in Rechem many days, according to the days that you abode. That is the end of the text. Praise his holy name.